Hello everybody and welcome to Realistic Realtors with Superior Coaching School. I'm Nick, this is Bill, and we're going to keep it real with you because we're going to help you build your business right now through action. All right, we're on lesson 20 of our success planning. Today we're talking all about sponsorships. And let's start with the quote. Sponsorship today requires genuine engagement and a belief in the shared goals of the partnership. Bill, what does this mean to you?
Well, sponsorship means really developing your brand, right? It's all about name recognition. And when you sponsor an event, you're showing goodwill to the community, but you have to develop some products that you can brand yourself at that event.
Yeah, I think that's very key. I think a lot of what sponsorship is doing for you is getting your name out, right? How important is name recognition?
You're creating visibility about you, yourself, and your brand. And that's extremely important. And what a better way to do it at an event where you're sponsoring.
So what kind of events would you want to sponsor? I guess what I mean is what kind of message do you want to send out to your target audience?
Well, the first thing I want to do is show them value in the community, okay? And we want to create brand awareness. So one example that I can bring up is for years, I sponsored an Easter egg hunt at a community. Large community, about 1,000 people, and they would have about, man, I remember the first one, Nick, they had about 300 kids there, and they weren't too organized the first one. They blew a whistle and 300 kids went to find the Easter eggs. So what did we have? We had a bunch of 2- and 3-year-olds that got trampled, and they were all crying, right? So now what they do is they, the little ones go first, the 2- and 3-year-olds, and then the 4- and 5, then finally like the 6- or 8-year-olds. But at those events, right, there was other sponsors, Nick, besides me, and there was probably like, maybe 15 tents out there, 15 different sponsors. But what was important, people wanted something for free, and they wanted a reason to go to your tent. So it's an Easter egg hunt. So what did I do? I hired face painters, and all the kids wanted their faces painted, which took about, 5-10 minutes a kid, which meant the parents were in front of me. So I had to incorporate something cool to do.
So you're giving something, providing something of value because to the parents, they're like, oh, finally, I can let them go get their face painted. Maybe they'll stay still for an hour.
Exactly, made their kids happy.
And then you get to talk to the parents.
And make sure you have cold water to hand out, right, or cookies. So first off, you have to, if at a sponsorship event, you're going to compete with usually other vendors there, so you have to stand out. So I did it with the face painters, and I learned a valuable lesson too, Nick, because the first one I had one face painter. Oh man, I had, parents like 50 deep waiting. They were not happy with me. The second year I got 2. Finally, I found out the magic number. It was 3 face painters because I could do the turnover quick. And so I gave them some value too, Nick, when they were there. I gave out information about property in the neighborhood, right?
Yeah, and that's something, again, the parents are thankful of you. They appreciate you because you're paying 3 face painters. It says something about your level of commitment. I guess the point I wanted to make is when you're going to sponsor an event and they're asking maybe for a prize or something, don't go cheap on the prize, right? What are some of the prizes you've given out over the years? So
when it came to prizes at the end, it had to be something good. One time it was a Yeti cooler with 2 Yeti mugs. 2 other times in a row it was actually a laptop. So I would invest $1,000 or $1,400 for the prize. But after the first year, they started handing out my prize dead last, which is kind of cool. Everyone stuck around. They would come by the tent and say, what are you giving away this year? So it was usually something of value that they liked, so they would talk to me longer. And I said I would give them something of value before that. I would give them, the last 30 houses I sold in the community, and I would hand everyone a piece of paper. So I'm branding myself at the sponsorship event, where, of course, it's going to have my name and logo on the bottom of the sheet.
Yeah, but those prizes reflect on your business because, again, if you're giving out a cheap prize, that might reflect on the kind of service and work, right?
Right, and you know what I never have done, Nick, and you would say, Bill. What I never did, I never took any of that and put it on social media. I never did it.
Yeah, so it's a great point. You know, if you're going to spend the money to sponsor an event and you're going to spend the money to get awesome branded content made for you, get a picture with the winner, because that is content gold. If you put that on social media and then you tag that winner, say, hey, is it all right with you? And I always ask up front, because I've done a bunch of raffles. I love giving away tickets, because I think an event is better than anything to give away for a lot of people who want to get a prize or something. So I raffle off stuff all the time. It's usually like Knights tickets, which is a minor league baseball team here in Charlotte,
Sure.
or Hornets, or basketball tickets, or football tickets. Something like that, and then I have people share with their friends. But in order to keep the integrity, the authenticity of it, you take a picture with the winner, because again, you're saying, hey, here's me with the winner. But then you're able to tag them and get their sphere included, involved as well.
And one step further, what I should have been doing was taking last year's event and posting on the community website the week before the event. Look, the Smiths, they were last year's winner, and they won this great, Yeti cooler.
And who's it going to be this year?
Right.
You'll have to show up to find out.
I didn't do it. Well, another thing that I did, Nick, so I had the tent and people would come by, and I'd give them information. The kids would be getting their faces painted. But then I gave away something for free of value. And I brought some things here today that I can show you. So one is a cooler, okay? And, a lot of kids will take this cooler and they'll bring it up to the pool. And obviously on the cooler it says Bill Price, Skybrook's #1 realtor, right? With the logo. Did it on purpose. And I think they cost me maybe $8 a piece. And I gave those away. One of the best ones I ever did was this 64-ounce thermos. Once again, besides seeing the kids at the pool, a lot of kids played soccer there, and they filled this up with Gatorade. And I saw these, all the time at soccer events. And of course, it says Skybrook. It's where the people live. And it says Bill Price, all my contact information. So anything that you give away, if it's a backpack for kids, if it's a water bottle for kids, these are really popular with the parents, okay? They can put their iced coffee in it, keep in their car, came with a plastic straw, really good quality stuff. All these things run about, $10 a piece. But I probably gave away 300 or 400 at a time. I did it on purpose because they pull this from their cupboard, they see me.
And how cool is it to have some left over so that when you're going to a different event, maybe even unrelated, you have things to give away?
Well, how about a listing appointment?
There you go.
All this stuff comes with me. And if they want it or not, they're getting it, because you want to give away stuff that's not going to sit and not be used. You want to give away stuff that's going to be used. And it's not costing us a lot of money. This is money that was well spent. I did over the years growing my business.
Now, I just wanted to speak a little bit to the legitimacy of it too, because what it does is it legitimizes you, makes you look like, wow, if he's going to spend all the money on branding, which, by the way, your brand has to be on everything you guys sponsor. Any sort of commitment towards prizes or branding something to yourself, it's got to be on there to stay consistent. But if you're going to spend the money to do that, it says a lot about your business, because you're willing to invest. And again, as we go back, we always say the 80-20 rule, where 20% of the agents are doing 80% of the business. A lot of that is because agents aren't investing back into themselves. So when a client sees, like you said, I love that you just brought up a listing appointment. You're bringing everything that you have here. You might say, you might have seen me at the golf tournament. Yeah, I sponsored that, and
Here's some extras.
Yeah, here's some extra stuff, exactly.
Yeah, and if you stalk them on Facebook a little and you find out their kid plays soccer, say, hey, I see that Tommy plays soccer. I thought maybe fill this up with Gatorade, it would be good. Or I had golf towels, right? If one of the parents are big into golf, I'll bring a few golf towels for them, or I had golf balls before. But there's so many other events, Nick, that we can hit. And I'll bore you with some good, some average examples, right? So swim meets, right? Go sponsor a swim meet. How hard is it to do that? Sponsor the food, Nick. What's 10 pizzas from Domino's? $100? And what do? You hand out the pizzas at the event, sliced at a time on a paper plate. And what do you have stapled to the paper plate?
Your business card.
And
I would say you could do it the other way as well. You could also go online beforehand, before the event, and you could say, let everybody know, hey, I'm going to be at the big swim meet If you want to get a free slice or 2 slices of pizza and have drinks there, just sign up here and register. I just need a name, number, email. And then when they register, you email them a ticket. And you say, show me the email of the ticket beforehand, and you'll get that free slice. So that way you're getting everybody's information, and you can start prospecting based on all the names and numbers you got.
Yep, something that we should have done with the new school approach that I didn't do. Another event that I would do all the time is Halloween. My house is known as the scary graveyard, and I spent a lot of time, like days, putting up props and scary monsters and stuff. But guess what was taped to every candy bar I handed out?
Business card.
My business card.
Which makes it what?
Write that off,
it's
right?
Tax
Oh,
write-off,
there's all the
right?
candy cards, right? But it was a nice way to connect. People would say, you're the guy, with the scary houses, because they would go through the candies, right? With their kids, what they could and cannot eat, and there's my business card. Some people made fun of me, but it's okay. They can make fun of me. I don't care if they even complain, because it works. I don't even care if someone in the community said, oh, there's Price, he's handing out candy, on Halloween with his business card attached to it. Yeah. Well, great. Guess what just happened? I just made some potential clients or people in the community talk about me.
Exactly. Yeah. And if that's, that's what you become known for. That's a good thing. Right?
Yeah.
That's what we talked about when we talk about brand, which is that brand is now less so about what you're telling people you represent, more so what people know you as. And if people know you as that guy who always throws the awesome Halloween party, who always sponsors the events and is always at every one of the swim meets handing out pizza, and you're that guy, you're going to be pretty well known in that community, because again, real estate and business today, and the market today, is all about name recognition. And the main objective of sponsorship is to partner with a brand, partner with an event that is very well known, to connect with that sphere. And so I think we've given you guys a lot of different examples.
Yep.
Do you want to review a little bit?
Yeah, so basically when it comes down to sponsorship, we are creating branding for ourselves. We're creating visibility for ourselves. We're creating, besides name recognition, we are creating some goodwill back to the community. When you sponsor an event, okay, the community will you'll lock arms with them. And that's really important. You're showing that you're willing to spend the money and put back into their events, which is important. Listen, there's a lot of events I did that were fundraisers for people that maybe have passed, maybe got injured. And those are stuff we have to do, It's not all about getting clients, Nick. It's about, giving back, which is so important. And those events need sponsors like us. And at the same time, sure, on the flip side, we do get recognized, we get branded, we can grow our business that way. Yeah,
I think that's all great points. So we're going to wrap up and introduce our special guest. Now, our guest this week is going to give us more ideas on sponsorship. And they'll tell us some of the behind the scenes of what goes on to obtain maybe an event sponsorship, because sometimes you have to compete, like you mentioned, with other people trying to sponsor the same event.
And has become a prominent figure in the neighborhood, in the community, which is really important and very well respected.
Of course. So you guys enjoy this interview. Comment below some other events and ideas that you guys have for sponsorships, and we'll see you next week.
See you guys next week.